Hello, my name is Michael Harlow, and I am the race director for the East Coast Triathlon Festival, which includes the youth, junior, and national development races. This presentation will go over important information on the course so that you are fully prepared for race day. We are very excited to have you join us in Richmond and believe that you guys are going to have an amazing race experience. Before I get started, I do want to give recognition to the several sponsors who are making this race possible. You can see all these sponsors on this slide. If you are aware of these sponsors or have any opportunity to do business with these sponsors, we highly recommend it. These sponsors believe in fitness. They believe in triathlon and the impact of fitness in people's lives. And so I would encourage you to seek out these different businesses and do business when appropriate with them. I also want to just take a quick moment to go over the Live Red Foundation and what we do in the community. The Live Red Foundation is the owner and producer of this event. We at the Live Red Foundation put on free fitness programs that teach life skills to children in Richmond's lowest opportunity neighborhoods. These are some of the toughest neighborhoods in the country. And the programs that we provide these kids are really life-changing. They're super important to these kids. And all of our events, we put on about 15 different events during the course of the year. And all of the revenue from these events goes to producing these free fitness programs in our community. Without these events, these fitness programs would not be possible. And so I just want to thank you guys for participating in this event because due to your participation, you are really helping to impact many, many lives beyond just the ones that are racing that weekend. All right, real quick, I want to go over parking. Parking is going to look a little bit different this year. If you've come in and participated in the East Coast Triathlon Festival, you might have parked right along this road. This is Highwoods Parkway, and it is right along the race course, which is shown kind of the main staging area in red here. So a lot of people have come in here and parked along here because we've had one lane that has been open along that pink section. Well, this year that road is going to be completely closed so that we can really give the racers as much room as possible along this stretch of the course. And so what we need you to do is we need you to park outside of the race course. Outside of the race course, these three green areas are great options. So you'll see as you arrive, you'll see cones and hay bales kind of around the whole course. Just try to park in one of these lots that's just outside of the course. Now, the ideal place to park is near your hotel. So this is the hotel area. There's tons of restaurants and things up here. That is the ideal place to just leave your car in the morning and then just ride in or walk in. It's less than a mile down to the race course. So shouldn't be a problem for you to get in that way if you're staying in one of these hotels. But if you're staying in a hotel kind of outside of the area, we encourage you to use one of these green spots. Now you will see this lot right next to the main staging area will be open until about 6:45 a.m. But if you park in that yellow lot, then you will not be able to get out until after all the events, so after 5 p.m. So I encourage you to park in these green lots, but if you absolutely will be there all day, you can park in this yellow lot as long as you get in before 6:45 a.m. Next few slides are going to go over the schedule and just give some clarity around that. Now here's the full schedule for Sunday, May 1st. Sunday, May 1st. You can find the schedule for the pre-race course previews and packet pickup and all that on our race website. But for the actual race day on Sunday, here is the schedule. We have a full schedule. It's going to be an exciting schedule. But you see that we start out with the junior development races and then go in the youth development races. Then we have several age group races starting with 5 to 10. That one at 1 o'clock is actually 11 to 17. My apologies for the mistake there. And then the adult category at 2. And then we have a couple national development triathlons, formerly known as EDRs or elite development races at 3 and then 4 o'clock. Now you'll also want to pay attention to the race-specific schedule. This will lay out when your transition opens, when the swim course opens, when transition closes, when we stage, and then the race start. You'll see there's a general flow with the youth and junior races. Transition is going to open up 75 minutes before your race start. Then the swim course is going to open up 45 minutes before your race start. Transition is going to close 15 minutes before your race start. We're going to stage you. We need everyone with their chips in their cap at the race start 10 minutes before the start. And then we are going to start on time. And then immediately after your race, you will finish, and we'll take the top 3 and we will take them immediately over to awards, and we'll have awards shortly after everyone finishes, or maybe even before everyone finishes. Most likely everyone will be finished by that point. It is also important to know that the wheel pit wheels will be accepted at transition when transition is open, not before. And that you will want to remove your bikes immediately following your race, because we have another race that's going to come in right after your race. And so we need to get all your bikes out and those allow those other people to set up. If you are doing the national development race, your timeline is going to be a little bit tighter. You will not be allowed into transition until an hour before your race start. But everything else is the same. Swim course is going to open 45 minutes before. Transition will close 15 minutes before. You're going to stage 10 minutes before, and then your race will get started on time. And again, awards will be right after, and the whole deal with the wheel pit is exactly the same. All right, so a few things of pre-race as we go over schedule. There are several options with warm-up. We already talked about the swim warm-up. The bike warm-up, you can go out on the race course as long as there is not a live race going on the course. So feel free to use the race course. But there's several roads, neighborhoods around other kind of officey areas around that are outside the race course. So even if a race is going on, you can kind of go on the outside of the race course and find plenty of options for warming up. And then obviously it is also an option to use a trainer. You're welcome to bring that in and set that up and be able to use that as well. Same thing with the run, many options kind of around the venue that you can use for warm up. That should not be a problem for the run. When you are ready to check in, you're going to do this outside each transition area. You're going to want to bring your bike, your helmet, and have your helmet on your head with the race number. You're going to want to have your uniform on your body and your tattoos in place, both on your arms and your legs. The rules briefing will go over exactly where those tattoos go. Officials will be conducting a thorough check of all equipment. So you'll want to make sure that you have followed all the equipment rules and are ready for that check-in. Again, those rules will be gone over through the rules briefing. For staging, you're going to receive your swim cap and timing chips. Down by the swim start, there will be a tent down there, and you can receive that anytime during the swim warm-up. And then we'll line you up based on numerical order 10 minutes before the start, and then call you out to your race start from there. All right, let's go a little bit over the course. So transition, before you start, you're gonna rack your gear at the transition area that is marked by the last two digits of your race number. So for example, if you are number 220, you're gonna find 20 and you're gonna rack your bike at that 20. Because we have multiple races, there will be multiple people, the 220, 320, 420, 520 that will rack at that 20 spot. You will want to rack your bike by the seat nose pointing toward the flow of traffic, so pointing towards the center of transition. You want to have your gear on your bike, behind the front wheel of the bike, or in the transition bend. And no race bibs will be used in these races. And once racked in transitions, bikes cannot be removed until the competition begins. That means that you will want to do your warm up before you rack your bike or check in to transition. All right, with transition one, this is a 485-foot run from swim exit to transition. So from the edge of the water up to the entrance to transition, 485 feet. When you get into transition, all your used swim equipment must go in the transition bin. It must go in the transition bin. Your transition bin will be marked with those same last two digits of your race number. So again, if you are 220, you're going to look for the transition bin is labeled 20. For transition two, you're going to rack the bike by the seat or both handlebars. It's your choice, but it should be racked facing away from the flow of traffic, so away from the center of transition. And all used bike equipment, once again, needs to be placed in transition bin. So this is, for example, your helmet needs to be put in that transition bin before you leave transition. Here's a look at transition and what it looks like. So down here, swim, you're going to come out right down here. You've got that 485-foot run up to the entrance of transition, which is right here. You'll see there are two transitions. There's transition A and transition B. Only one of them will be open. Only your transition will be open when you get up here, so you don't have to figure out, do I go left or do I go right? You will only be able to go into one. In the other one, someone will be setting up most likely for the next race. And you'll flow up here and out onto the bike course. You will come back from the bike right here, back into transition. You'll flow into that same transition area and leave out on your run through that same way. We got a couple more views of this coming up here. You'll see this is another look at it with a more real GPS look. So you'll see how it's set up. Your entrance to check in will be on the side. So you see this is open here. That is the entrance to check in for this transition area. And this is the entrance to check in for this transition area. You'll notice that this transition area is closed at the time. You'll see this green right here. These will be barricades preventing you from going in if this is the live course. There will likely again be people setting up for the next race here. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next one. Here you'll see a flow. So with transition A, which is the one over here on the left, you'll enter here to get set up. And then when that one's open, you'll be coming through and flowing through. This one will be completely closed. And when transition B is open, it'll look just like this. All right, let's talk a little bit about the swim course. We have an in-water start with buoys on the right. Every single one of the courses is one lap. Athletes, you will have you stand behind your spot at the water's edge. Then we will ask you to get in the water. There's a nice little shelf there. It's about 4 feet deep where you'll be standing on. You'll put one hand on kind of the wood that's kind of holding up the edge of the lake. You'll put one hand on that, and then you will wait for the starter's commands. The starter will ask the athletes to ask you to get into the water, as I just explained. He will then say that you are now in the hands of the starter. You will hear on your mark, and then the air horn will start the race. Now, we expect the water temperature to be in the upper 60s. Some years has been in the low 70s, but we are kind of trending towards those upper 60s right now. That'll likely be right on the edge of wetsuit legal for these development races, which is 68 degrees. So you will want to make sure you bring your wetsuit so you are prepared if it is indeed a wetsuit swim. Here's what the swim course looks like. Now we have multiple different races throughout the day, as I mentioned. So you will want to pay attention. The juniors will want to pay attention to this red course. That's the 750-meter swim. Looks just like this. Everyone else, the youth as well as the national development races, will turn at the 375-meter mark, which is right behind the first main fountain. There was a fountain right here. It's being repaired right now. So the first fountain you'll see is this one. There is another fountain out here, and we will be turning the juniors right before that fountain. All right, now it's important to note that there's no running during the swim. There is one little section, I'll show it to you in just a second, where the lake can be a little shallow, and athletes can possibly stand up and make forward progress by running, but this is not legal. Any athletes that do this will be disqualified, and there will be officials stationed at the bridge that will be looking for this and writing down numbers. So please make sure you do not run during the swim. You'll see this section is right in here. This is a bridge coming over top of it, and if you kind of took it hard to the left, you might be able to stand there, but you cannot. It is illegal. You will not be able to do that. So please don't do it, or you will be disqualified. Now again, this is only the case with the juniors. The youth and the national development race will turn right here, so you won't have to worry about this. All right, the bike course. The bike course is a clockwise direction. There's one 180-degree turn. The athletes do not travel through transition on each bike lap. You will stay out on Highwoods Parkway and not turn into transition until you are done with all of your laps. There's a wheel pit located on Highwoods Parkway. I'll show you where that is in just a second. The lap out overlap rule is in effect, which simply means that if the first rider catches you and you being the last rider, then an official is going to ask you to step off the course and walk back. You have to stay off the course, and you cannot ride your bike back. Juniors will be completing 4 laps. Youth will be completing 2 laps, and the NTDR, the National Triathlon Development Race, will be completing 2 laps. Now, I am going to point out on this, there is a lot of construction, and especially road work, being done around the course this year. And I am being told that everything will be ready to go by race day, but it won't be 100%. There might be some roads that are still have kind of a base layer, but not silky smooth as you might be used to. And so we just want to be aware of that and get out and pre-ride the course the day before and make sure you're aware of what that looks like and where those sections are. There are also a couple speed bumps. We've never had any trouble with these, but you will want to be aware of them. And really, you can ride right through them. We've done it at full speed, no problem at all. But you will want to be aware of it so it's not a surprise for you. All right, so the bike course comes out of transition, makes a right-hand turn. It's about a quarter-mile down to this right-hand turn here. We'll have hay bales here to make that sharp right. You've got a downhill down to probably the steepest right turn on the course. Plenty of room to make that turn. Again, hay bales on this corner, but you will want to be aware of it and try to practice this turn a little bit before race day so that you're aware of it. You've got a slight uphill through this. Usually if you're going to encounter wind, it will be along this section, and a slight uphill, but ever so slight, to a right-hand turn right here at Inslake. That's a slight uphill and then a slight downhill to another right-hand turn onto Dominion Boulevard. This is a flowy part of the course, really nice through here. But we do want to make you aware that this is where a lot of that construction has taken place. The roads, again, might change kind of the surface just a little bit through here, so you will want to be aware of that. You're going to flow down here, down to a downhill, into a U-turn, to a slight uphill, right-hand turn, and then right through here, you're going to encounter 3 speed bumps. The first one is a speed hump, which is kind of a gradual hump, and then 2 little bit more abrupt speed bumps. You'll want to be aware of those as you come through here. If you have more laps to complete, you will continue straight on to your second lap. If you are done with your laps, you're going to make a right-hand turn right here and head into transition. All right, you can see right here where that turn to go into transition is when you are done with your final lap. Okay, the run course is follows part of the bike course. It's an out and back course. You aren't going to go around the whole loop, but you will be kind of sharing the bike course for part of it. There's an aid station 200 meters from the start and finish line of the course. I will show you where that is in just a bit. Athletes will turn left around the cone to go into the finish line. There will be a cone there on that last left-hand turn. It's important to note that pacing is not allowed by coaches, teammates, and friends. You are solo out there. Juniors will be completing 2 laps, and youth will be completing 1 lap, and the NTDR will be completing 1 lap. So the run course, again, comes out of transition, flows the same way. You'll have an aid station right around here, which is, again, about 200 meters from the start as well as from the finish. You will be heading out here, making a right-hand turn and then another right-hand turn out to that U-turn. You'll be making a left turn around that U-turn and heading back in, right in here. Now, juniors, you will be turning around and going back out on the course for a second lap right here. And once you complete your second lap, or the first lap for the NTDR and the youth, you'll be making a left-hand turn around that cone and into the finish line, which is right in here. All right, post-race, when you get to the post-race, we'll have an area where you can receive food, drink in your finish medal. We also have food trucks and some different vendors out there if you want some additional food as well. Again, you will want to remove your bikes from transition immediately after the race, and we will be giving awards almost immediately after the race for the top 3 per race. So when I say per race, I mean top 3 junior development female, top 3 junior development male, and so on. Now, it's really important that you recognize this is not the only briefing you need to watch. You also need to watch the briefing by our officials. This is located at this link, and you will need to make sure that you do that. And then once you have watched both briefings, you will sign a Google form saying that you have completed both and that you are fully ready to do the race. Outside of that, I think you've got all your information to have a successful race. We wish you the absolute best luck and are excited to see you in Richmond here in a couple weeks.